All righty.
To our first ever episode. I'm really excited, Mia.
I know, I'm really excited. I'm like kind of nervous. I'm like shaking a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we'll get used to it though. It'll be fun. First of all, thank you to everyone who's tuning into this.
Yeah, seriously.
We should probably say the name. This is WACK.
WACK with Patrick and Mia.
I'm really excited to do this. Mia and I have mentioned doing a podcast long ago. I remember back in high school. But we both got microphones for Christmas last year. And we're like, let's do it. And so here we are. And so we're thankful to everyone who's listening.
Yeah, seriously. Shout out to the fans because honestly, I'm surprised this is happening. And I'm so
me too.
For actually doing it because we have been talking about it for like a while. But like, since I live all the way in Michigan and Patrick lives all the way in Nashville-ish area, where is it called where you live again? Murfreesboro, yeah. So like, I was like, well, if we're gonna do it, it's gonna only be like once because like we'll be together for a week, like over the summer or something. But like with the power of technology, we are together right now via the internet. So we really went out.
So I guess we should give like a little summary of what we want this show to be.
Yes.
So we called it WACK. We were just thinking like sort of that hip 90s vibe, but also like if you look at our artwork, it's kind of this like bam, whack, onomatopoeia sort of thing.
Yeah, like comic book style kind of
thing.
Which is cute. So
exactly.
That's what the kids are into today. So
yes, everyone's all about Marvel. We're basically Marvel.
Yeah.
But my mom, we had posted about it on our Facebook and our Instagram. Go follow us on Instagram, pglover2447.
And SonicMia21.
Yes. And my mom said, oh, does it stand for wild and crazy knowledge? And Mia texts me and goes, your mother has her third eye open.
Yeah, like it's wide open. So Mrs. Glover, like, I know you're going to be listening to this. I love you. I miss you. And you are literally a genius. So thank you for adding to this show.
Yes. And it works perfectly because basically what we want our show to be is just all this, just basically anything we want to talk about. We were trying to figure out, like, should we have an actual theme? And it was more like, you know what? It'll be better for us to just talk about whatever we want to talk about. We're both really into pop culture. I'm a media major. She's a theater major. Right? I got that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's like something specific in theater, right? Like
yeah,
BFA or something?
Originally, I was a BA in theater, which would just be like a general degree. But then I realized all the classes I wanted to take were a part of the BFA, like the fine arts bachelor degree for stage management. So that's kind of where I'm headed right now, and I'm really excited about it. So.
Gotcha. So basically, we both are really into pop culture, and we were in theater together in high school in choir. That's how we met. And so we are going to kind of pick a topic for each week and then also just talk about a bunch of random things and have little segments, talk about our lives, talk about what's going on. And yeah, so I'm really excited for this. I think Mia is too.
Yes, I'm really excited because the way that I'm picturing how this is going to go is that we've been in this group message with our other best friend, Abby. Hey, Abby, if you're listening, you better be. Is that we literally get into like the longest and like dumbest conversations about everything in our group message. And like, I feel like we can funnel that all here and it'll be entertaining. So that's kind of what I'm picturing.
Honestly, it'd be more entertaining if Abby was here because you and her will go at it about the dumbest things. Do you remember Shire or whatever it was?
Yeah. So Abby's my best friend. I love you so much, Abby. But yes, we do tend to butt heads about literally anything and everything. But that's okay. That's why I love her because she keeps my life interesting.
Me too. I love to watch it. I just will laugh.
Yeah, it's literally we are Patrick's last two brain cells manifested in front of him.
Yes. Okay, so I guess we'll just roll right into it.
Yeah, let's just go into it. You first.
Okay, so we are going to talk about like how our week has been.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
All right.
There's some stuff going on in the Midwest right now, and I can't wait.
Oh yeah. Okay, so first, I guess so I've been taking an entrepreneurship class. That's my minor. I declared that as my minor this past semester. I'm really enjoying it, And my friend she works in like marketing, so she meets a bunch of networks and everything. So she told me about this event here in Murfreesboro with the lady who runs Gigi's Cupcakes for entrepreneurs. So I'm going to go to it. I'm probably going to be like the only like super young person who doesn't have anything. But if people talk to me, I'll be like, yeah, I have a podcast. That's sort of a business, right?
Yeah, there you go.
But I think it's so funny because me and my cousin are watching Undercover Boss over the summer, and Gigi's Cupcakes, that lady was in it. And so I'm like, I already know some about her life. Like, I think she had a bad relationship with her mother. But like by the end of the show, she was like, you know what? I'm going to call my mom because some worker was
that's
like.
That's so sweet.
Right. And so I'm like, I kind of want to, like, if I meet her, I would kind of be like, so how's your mom?
You better hope it went well when she called her then.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
No, like literally, like just imagine if you were like, oh, like I watched you on that show. Like, how's your mom? And she's like, I hate her still.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh
my gosh.
Anyway,
like that would put you in a really awkward situation.
Yeah. You're like, you're never working in this business. Even though I don't want to go into bakery, but you never know.
You never know at this point.
So I'm really excited about that. Also, for those of you who are listening, right now, I'm sure it's just like our friends, so you probably do know. But if you don't, I do have a radio show.
Yes.
Here at I go to school in Middle Tennessee State University, so I have a radio show here every Monday from 12 to 1 p.m. That's Central Time. That's 1 to 2 if you're on the East Coast. For West Coast, I don't know. Figure it out. I doubt anyone on the West Coast is listening, though. But if you are, that's cool. Thank you.
Hey, I have a friend from California. I can have her tell her parents.
That's true. I actually do know someone who goes to school in California. Anyway, so that's been going really well. I had my first show this past Monday. It went pretty well, a lot better than I expected. I like to usually start out start out easy because I have to learn all the equipment all over again every semester. So that was good. And something I'm really excited about. So there's this YouTuber who I've seen before, and her name's Internet Jules, and she has like 70,000 subscribers. And I emailed her because she lives in Nashville. I was like, hey, would you want to come in and do an interview? And she's like, yeah, that sounds fun.
You were telling me about this.
Yes. And so I'm supposed to be interviewing her Saturday, actually. She was like, hey, does Friday or Saturday work? I was like, that's really quick, but yeah, sure, let's go. So I have to like prepare for that, but I'm really excited about that and hoping that can kind of get my name out there a little more.
That's good.
And I also emailed a couple other people who did not respond, but it's fine.
You're not bitter at all.
Yeah. I also, okay, Mia, this is the one thing you don't know about. I went to the office for studying abroad. So I'm thinking about studying abroad next semester.
Where?
Either Italy or Greece. I'm leaning more toward Greece because it's cheaper, and I've always wanted to go there. So,
gosh, Greece is beautiful. Like,
I know.
I can dream. Like, I look at pictures online of like places I like want to go, but like probably will never go to, and Greece is definitely one of them.
Yes. Anyway, so I mean, that'd be really cool if I could pull it off. I talked to my parents about it some. We'll see.
Yes,
we'll keep you updated on that.
You should look for like scholarships because I'm sure they like offer some through your school if they have the study abroad program.
Yeah, they do. They have like a whole website of scholarships, and they're like, you would definitely want to apply for this and like cover as much money as possible because obviously like there's the price to study abroad, like with tuition, housing, and everything, but also like, you know, getting there, paying for a visa, which sometimes can be expensive, and also just like living there with food and doing things. So
yeah, totally.
She said it can really add up. But if I end up doing that, that'd be really cool and fun. So that's pretty much been my week.
Yeah, another good thing. No, one more thing about like you studying abroad is like I was talking to Anya about it. Our friend Anya, she literally like travels the world. She's such a queen. Literally. I hope she's listening. I love you, Anya. But yeah, she told me I was talking to her about studying abroad once, and she was telling me about how you should save up your money because like literally like you can take a train like to somewhere else in Europe. I don't know how close Greece is to anything else, but like she said like things can be as cheap as like $50 just to go to like a different like country in Europe. So like that's what's cool about studying abroad. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably study abroad eventually, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. Anyway, so for those of you who have no idea what's going on in the Midwest, or who, like, if you just live in a warmer climate, first of all, lucky you. But the polar vortex is happening in all over the place, like near me. So like Michigan is affected, Illinois, like everywhere over here. And our classes were canceled pretty much all week this week because the lows were getting as low as like negative 30 degrees. And like that's a temperature where if you're outside for like 4 minutes or more, like you are at risk for literally getting frostbite. So yeah, I canceled class for myself on Monday, I'll be honest, but sorry Lily, she's my professor, but yeah, so it's literally so cold. And last night I went to my friend's dorm across campus, and I just ended up sleeping over there, which I kind of regret because we had 4 fire drills last night. Yeah, so apparently there was like steam coming from one of like the heaters in the basement, and it kept setting off the fire alarm. So the first time we went outside, and I kid you not, the inside of my nose was freezing. Like the moisture inside my nostrils was like turning into ice. So like that just gives you an idea of how cold it was. And it happened multiple times. But like after a while, we kind of just stopped leaving. Because, like, at that point, we knew we were like, okay, well, it's just, like, the fire alarms are broken, which kept us up till 4 a.m. last night. Like, I was literally up till 4 a.m., and I wish I had gone back to my dorm, but I looked, like, at Ubers to get back because all the buses stopped running, and they were, like, $10, probably because, like, the roads are so bad. But yeah. So I ended up just, like, living through it, and I slept till, like, 1 today. So I guess I made up for that. But, yeah, so basically, I looked up, like, what the polar vortex, like, actually is. And basically, like, in the North and South Pole, I guess at some point, like, there just can be, like, exactly what it sounds like. It's just, like, a swirl of, like, really, really cold winds. But sometimes they can break and, like, travel. So that's basically what happened from the North Pole is that one of it, like, the actual vortex, like, broke off into a piece and traveled down to, like, the United States. And that's why we're experiencing so much, cold weather. And it really, I mean, honestly, I can't complain too much. Like, all my classes were canceled. But I will say, like, in the dining hall this morning, they have to, like, we got, like, a gas consumer, like, warning. Because, like, everyone has, like, their heaters on blast. So, like, there could be, like, a blackout. Yeah. So they had to, like, cut off, like, all the gas in the kitchen. So they were only, like, serving, like, cold food this morning. Ooh. And, like, we went to breakfast. And, like, in one of the dining halls. And it felt like kind of, like, what I imagine, like, after a natural disaster, like a camp, like, that's, like, kind of what it felt like. Because, like, there's, like, nothing, like, in any of, like, the Sparties, which is basically, like, the convenience store of, like, Michigan State. Like, everyone, like, cleared out everything because no one wants to leave and, like, go get food somewhere else. Yeah. So it's, like, it's a whole mess. But hopefully, no, it's not hopefully. Like, it's literally supposed to be, like, 47 degrees on Sunday, which is ridiculous.
It is 43 degrees right now here in Tennessee.
I don't even know. Let's see how cold it is. It is 4 degrees right now. So, well,
have fun with that.
Yeah, there's like there's 2 feet of snow on the ground. So whenever it melts, it's gonna, like, flood. So that's gonna be fun too.
I take a bus to school, and this morning it was just not running, I guess, because of wet paint. And I'm like, why wouldn't you wait to paint it over the weekend? Whatever. Anyway, so I just ended up not going to class. My first class was canceled anyway. And then my second class, I just didn't go to because I'm like, I don't have time to find a parking space. I don't care enough. So I gave myself a day
Sometimes
off.
You just got to skip class for your own, like, well-being.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I was ready to go, but whatever.
That's another thing is that Michigan State literally hasn't canceled classes in 8 years. Like, and the last time they did, it was in 2011. It's because the buses literally froze. Like, that's the only reason they canceled class. So, like, just the fact that they canceled class, like, it's like record-breaking low temperatures. Like, if they hadn't canceled class, I probably would have canceled it for myself because
I would too.
About to go out and die. Yeah, and it's like they even, like, sent out an email. They were like. And they were like, how to protect yourself from the cold, as if they were going to make us go to class initially. And I was so mad. I was like, literally, if you have to wear a scarf or something around your mouth to prevent lung burn, you probably shouldn't be having your students walk to class. Yeah. And it's like, I live on the edge of campus too. So it's like, I have to walk or take the bus. And if I were to walk, it would be like a 25-minute walk. And I don't have the patience for that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
No, literally, okay, it snowed like a tiny bit yesterday, like very small amount. It melted by 11 o'clock, but kids were posting on the Facebook page like, are we getting classes canceled? And all the administrators were like, no. And I was like,
That's
it was just so funny because everyone that I know is like, we're actually getting classes canceled because it's like dangerous. Meanwhile, we have like a tiny bit of snow and everyone's like, this is really bad.
That's literally like in Pittsburgh when it rains, people like automatically forget how to drive, like as if it's like the world is ending. It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous. Like how people react to like the smallest like bad weather, like quote unquote bad weather.
By the way, those who don't know us, you never know. We are from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we're originally from Pittsburgh. We went to high school together. We've been buddies for a long time, and it's great.
Yes. We actually met through a film club.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Filmers. Shout out to Ben Nadler.
Yeah, shout out to Ben Nadler. He's literally gonna be like famous. Like he already is famous in my book. Like
yeah. I mean,
like I've worked with him on 2 films that he's made over the past 2 summers, and like he's literally a genius and I love him so much. But yeah, he made a film club in our school, but instead of just calling it film club, he called it LOF, which meant the League of Free Filmers. And like it was
a playoff League of Legends, right?
Was it?
That's what Izzy said. Izzy Tarkson, shout out to you.
I had no idea. See, like that just makes it even better for me.
I know.
And then it like died after he graduated, which is kind of sad, but you know what?
It honestly died before then.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. But okay, when me and I first met each other, I found her really annoying. Yeah. All she would talk about is like Lana Del Rey. And then she was also like a really nerdy freshman. I mean, I was a really nerdy sophomore, but still. And then
my first impression of him was that he was the kid that nobody actually liked but always showed up to things, which honestly looking back is so mean. Like I can't believe I thought that. Like it's one thing to think someone's annoying, but like that is like a whole other level.
I mean, honestly, like I would like sometimes get invited to things, I think partially just because like I happened to be right there, but they didn't really want me there, but I was like, yeah, I'll go. Like I remember my freshman year I was on the rowing team. Very funny. And they were having like this group of juniors and like one sophomore was having a anti-homecoming event, I guess. Not really event. They were just like going to Robinson, and I think we ate at Burgatory and then we went laser tag afterward or something.
That's like fun though.
Yeah, it was so much fun. But I was like texting them and they had invited me because I like happened to be right there, I think, when they were talking about it. And I was a freshman, like didn't know anyone. And I was like texting one of the guys because they all had like carpooled there. And my dad was the one who was taking me. And I was like, hey, like, where are we meeting? And he's like, oh, I mean, we're already there. Like, are you sure you want to come? Like, it is going to be mostly juniors.
Oh my God.
And like looking back, I'm like, he definitely didn't want me to go, which I don't blame him. But you know what? We still had a good time. It was fun.
No, I remember you telling me about that.
I don't think I was that annoying. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can see why you thought I was annoying. Like, I thought I was annoying, but like, I couldn't help it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we became friends by the end of that year. So
yeah. So here we are today talking about it on a podcast because we're cool like that, I guess. So.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for your week?
Yeah. No, my week has been pretty boring considering I have had class one day. So can't really speak much on my week.
Okay, well, we're about 20 minutes in already, so do we want to go ahead and move on with our little segments?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, which one do we want to do first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a segment we're going to call When Pigs Fly because basically I was like, I love weird news stories, so let's do a segment about them. We were like, okay, so I found a kind of weird, it's not really weird as much as it's like, I can't believe this actually happened. But it's about Donald Trump, and surprisingly, it's not about the government shutdown, so this is going to be exciting. So the headline of this story, it was written by the Huffington Post, and it is titled, Trump wanted his Disney animatronic to brag about his skyscrapers, new book says. And I saw that, and I was like, this can't be real. So I found another one, and it like actually like it's actually actually a thing. And basically, so in Disney World how there's the Hall of Presidents or whatever it is, and it's like they have the animatronics for each president, and they all have like their little spiel of like what they say, and they're like, I did this. So Disney sent I guess their Imagineers to go interview Donald Trump or like record his dialogue for it. And I guess this came out in the new like Team of Vipers book by the Cliff Sims guy, who was the director of White House Message Strategy, which is cool. I guess he came out with a new book about like, I don't know, the administration. And according to the book, the president wanted to add a line about how Americans invented the skyscraper. Then I could add a little, which of course I know a thing or two about, right? Trump reportedly said. Disney objected, noting that a skyscraper wasn't really an invention, but just a taller building. And Sims removed the line from Trump's script. And so, like, I just saw that, and I like regardless of who you think about like the president, like going to the White House is like a cool thing. So like I just imagine like these Disney people like going there, be like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna get to like interview the president, like we're gonna meet him, like that's pretty cool. And then like going there and having to explain like, well, skyscrapers like weren't really invented, they're kind of just like taller buildings. Like just imagine having to explain that to like the president of the United States. It's just like I can't believe it's like that's a real thing. Like that is just wild. So that was kind of like, I just can't believe
living in a simulation.
We're literally living in a simulation. Like, that's basically, at the end of the day, that's the moral of the story. Like, I really, like, I couldn't believe it when I was I was like, wow, I'm really looking at this with my own two eyes.
That's funny. I saw, this is kind of off topic, but I saw this video where this guy was like, this is me one day after playing Sims. And then, like, he got to the weekend, he was like, me, boy, no, bot.
We had to do an exercise in our acting class where we had to like have an argument with someone in a gibberish language, and it was literally like I felt like I was a Sim. Like it was so funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was thinking, for future like reference, we can probably just like look at Florida news for crazy stories.
That's what I was gonna look at initially, and I just kind of looked up like. I think I literally looked up weird news stories like from this week or something, and that one came up, and I saw it and my jaw dropped, and I was just like, I have to talk about this. But yeah, no, that was going to be my next. What?
Go ahead.
No, it was like my next instinct was like, I have to just look up Florida news because just so much happens there. But
so did it say what he ended up putting?
Well, I think it doesn't actually say it, but he wanted to add basically like he could say like, oh, I know a lot about like skyscrapers, like because like Americans built them, and like they were just like, what? Like I think it's just going to talk about I don't know. I've never been in the Disney ride, so I don't really know what they all talk about. I'm just assuming that they're all like basically like recapping like something they did. So
gotcha.
I don't know. I'd be interested to see what is said though, because like we're only halfway through, so. We'll see what happens. I'm going to Disney World eventually soon. So,
Eventually. Okay.
Yeah.
So do we want to move to the next segment?
Let's do it.
All right. So we're calling this segment Let's Groove, named after Earth, Wind, and Fire's great song. And basically every week, so we're going to switch off. So Mia picked the news story this week, and this week I picked music for us to listen to. So we'll switch next week. And basically what it is, we just pick some new music, like a new album or something by an artist we like, or just something we might find or anything. Mm-hmm. And then we'll just both listen to it and kind of review it. So this week I picked an artist that I like. She started out on YouTube. I discovered her my junior year of high school, I believe, and was really fond of her. Her name's Dodie. You may have heard of her. And she just recently came out with an EP called Human. And now, Mia, I know it's probably not as much of your type of music. But what were your thoughts on the album as a whole first?
I actually really enjoyed it. It like you're right. It definitely wasn't like my kind of music. Like that I would listen to generally, but I enjoyed it. And like I like one thing I'm noticing more about like newer artists who are coming out with like they come out with a lot more EPs than albums nowadays, which is kind of interesting like when you think about it. And like I just enjoyed how simple it was. Like it kind of reminded me of Liability by Lorde, how it's just her and like the piano.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
love that
like
song. That song.
yeah, I love that song. And like that's kind of why I enjoyed it, because it kind of just like had those vibes where it was like just her and like the backtrack, and she just kind of played off of it in a really nice way, which I enjoyed. And I was surprised that she was only 23. Like that's really young for like, and she has like a lot of music too.
Yeah, so she's on
Spotify. So
yeah, so I'll be honest, like I enjoyed this EP, and not as much as her first two EPs. I don't know if maybe it's because I've just like changed my taste a little more. I don't know. But there were still ones that I enjoyed. So I like wrote 3-page notes on this. I will try not to like go too long, but I like wrote something about every single song. I don't know how much of it you remember exactly. So I'm just going to talk about them and feel free to chime in at any point.
Okay.
So Arms Unfolding, this is the opening to album, very important. I found it pretty calm. It made me feel like I was like at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, like spinning around and looking up. Very descriptive. Very descriptive,
yeah.
But at the same time, like since it was kind of like that, I almost kind of found it boring. I don't know, weird.
Yeah, I actually, that was like probably my favorite one out of all of them, because that's like the one where it made me think of Liability, because it's just her singing on top of that one like note that's playing on the bottom. Yeah. Like I don't know, I kind of like that emptier feeling of like the song. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot. I definitely see what you mean about the Grand Canyon thing.
Yes, right. Like it's that whatever. So interesting, like. Fun fact about this song. So she posted on her Instagram recently. She posted the song, but she had released it. What she did over the course of a year. So she makes YouTube videos. That's how she started out. So on her YouTube videos, she would say one lyric in each video, and then she put it all together, and like that's how she released the initial song. And then she of course
that's cool.
recorded the actual version that wasn't so choppy. Onto the EP, but like how she released it was she took a second of every video with each lyric, and it took her over a year, which I just thought was really
that's really cool.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then so like kind of how I did with each song, I kind of like talked about the sound and then the lyrics. So I said, you know, it's kind of like classic song about being in a relationship that's lost its spark. And I really just like the title of it, like Arms Unfolding, kind of showing that you're being open and you're open-minded and you just want to fix things.
Yeah, totally.
So that's all I had for that song. Any other thoughts?
Not about that song, but I have a note about like the cover art whenever you're done with your little analysis.
Okay. Yeah, that was the first time I like really looked at it. I had seen it before, but I hadn't paid too much attention. So we'll talk about that at the end. Okay, so next song is called Monster. This one was probably my second favorite. It had like a fun sort of video game beat, which, you know, we can relate to that.
Totally.
At the beginning of this when we put it into editing. So it was very fun. So I went on to like Genius lyrics, which it said these were like unreviewed annotations, but I think they're probably pretty accurate. And so basically it's just like talking about looking into the eyes of someone who hates you, but they like used to love you. And so, you know, one of the lyrics was how easily the passion twists. I think that really can be relatable. Sometimes it's crazy how someone can like switch like gears so much from like love to hate. And I mean, Mia, you and I have had friends who like have completely changed personalities, and we're like, what happened?
Yeah, no, totally.
Won't name names, but we all know.
we all know who we're talking about.
And then another lyric, craft my words fit your head because no one listens to the dead. So she's kind of like being mean to this person because at this point they are so like they have this idea about what she's like to the point where they're not going to listen to her anyway. So she's just going to go full on how they think she acts and be mean. But it still takes them by surprise. Isn't it weird to be so mean? is the lyric. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just like talking about lyrics I like. Sorry, I'm just like really passionate about music. You know, I'm a DJ, so like I just get really into it.
It's your whole life.
I know. Anyway. Oh, what else did I say about this? Sorry. Oh, I liked the animal noises at the end. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, that was like an interesting little choice to do at the end.
Yeah, and I thought this song was like really different from the rest of the EP, which I thought was kind of interesting.
And like it's more ironic because like the EP is called Human, and like it ends with like that. Yes. Like I like that.
My goodness, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Anyway, one of the lyrics that I also enjoyed. Sorry, I skipped this one accident. Am I ready to let this die? So obviously, like I don't know, this is something that I feel like I've related to a lot just in the past couple of years. Like, you know, you move on to college and, you know, now I've never really cut anyone off. I don't think I've ever had like bad blood with anyone, but you obviously those relationships do die, and it's kind of like, are you okay with letting that go? And so obviously like this one is like, you know, it's hard to let go of relationships, but you know, like if it's a bad relationship, then like snip, you're gone. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Thought that song was really cool.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
You flipping your 3 pages.
Yes, I know. I like got really into it. I was like,
yeah. I mean, that's good that you're so passionate about an EP.
I know. Hopefully I'm as passionate about the album you choose next week.
Yes.
We'll see. So next one, Not What I Meant. Honestly, this one did not impress me. It kind of sounded like every other one of her songs. It was kind of like this basic indie song. I was like, okay. But I thought the meaning behind it was pretty cool. Just talking about fame not being exactly what she expected. You know, not what I meant when I said that I wanted to be seen. Really focused on like beauty standards and like her numbers, basically her fans and everything. It's just really shallow overall. Lots of fake friends who just want that clout.
The clout.
Yeah. And so something I've noticed, this has not as much to do with the song, just like celebrities talking about this in general, talking about kind of the hardships of being famous, that people put you on this pedestal, which I think is a really good. And,
No, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, you know, maybe we can talk about this more in depth on different show, but like, I think it's definitely worth mentioning now. Like, it's something that people are talking about, and I think that's really good because kids need to chill out and not rely on celebrities to give them happiness.
No, yeah, that's like even the whole thing that just happened with what's the name? Was it James Charles? Where like all these kids would like go to his house and like basically like just wait there until he came out. That's and he so like
disrespectful.
No, it's so disrespectful. And he came out in a video and was like, listen, like I'm a human, like you guys like can't just come to my house. And like then he got like so much backlash for being like, you're a celebrity, like this is like this is just what happens when you're famous. And it's like, but that doesn't mean it's okay to go and do. It's literally so disrespectful.
Yes.
Like that's like if I just like went to your house just because like I wanted to because I liked you. Like it doesn't make sense. That's not how
like you're my friend, you owe me this. No.
And like, yeah, there are things that come with being a celebrity that like you just kind of have to deal with, like as in like paparazzi and like being in the eye of the media. But like you can't just like expect like a bunch of people to go to your house and just like take it. Like that's not okay.
Exactly.
Like that's at a point like can be like dangerous for like your own safety. Like you can't just like it's like the whole thing with like doxing where like people like find out like people's like phone numbers and like addresses. Like that whole thing is like so messed up, and like people think it's okay, but it's not, like just because they're famous.
I mean, like there are like videos of moms going to YouTubers' houses with their kids and being like,
yeah, like that's
owe them this. Like, thank them. They are your fans. And I'm like, how dare you? That is so disrespectful.
Yeah, like your parents, like their parents taking their children to do it. And that's like kind of just like, what?
I'm like, you're a terrible parent.
Yeah.
No, that's insane to me. And I mean, honestly, that kind of behavior is sometimes what drives celebrities crazy. I mean, think about like Britney Spears back in the day. She would get so much paparazzi. Like she could not have a break. No, she had a meltdown.
want to do a whole episode about celebrity meltdowns because they're so interesting because everyone just thinks they're crazy. But like with Britney Spears, like she had like this like amazing quote. Like I don't have it like off the top of my head, but it really basically talks about like the reason she shaved her head. She was like, I was so sick of people touching me and like making me look this certain way. And I was just so tired of it that I was just like, I need to get rid of this. Like it was like a whole thing.
I
it's not like
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not like she was just crazy. Like she was just so sick of being in the limelight 24/7 where there's constantly people around her, like touching her, like doing her hair, like doing her makeup. Like she was just like, I need a break. Like I can't do this. Like I love Britney. I will defend her to the day I die. Like the Leave Britney Alone video, like that is me.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, back to music.
Now that we've ranted. Okay, so next one, Human, title of the album. So I thought like this is kind of a basic indie sound as well until the part where it's like human or whatever, which I thought that part was really cool. I really like that part. It's kind of a nice contrast. To me, it sounded almost like alien space-like, which is a like cool contrast because it's called Human. But that was just me. Basically, I saw this as like you having a friend that you want them to be open and vulnerable with you. Which I really like this because like that's something I like. I feel like every year, you know, we kind of have a theme to our year, and like last year, I feel like mine was like 2017 or last school year was kind of like me growing up, you know, realizing, you know, life's changing, and like I had a lot of alone time, a lot of time to think about my life, and then I feel like this past year is kind of. At least this past school year has so far been me kind of opening up more to people, opening up to my friends, having friends open up to me.
No, I totally agree. Like, I mean, just
a whole new level that I had never done before.
Totally. Like, I like just like be like being like an outsider, like on your perspective. Like last year, like you were like, yeah, I'm just kind of like sitting in my dorm like all the time, and like just watching you like kind of like blossom this year has been like really cool. Like, so I'm proud of you, first of all. And like. Thanks. But second of all, like I also kind of like relate with how you were feeling last year because like being on such a big campus, like it's kind of like a hassle to like go out and do things sometimes. And like, I don't know, like
I had a car. You don't.
Yeah, no, I don't have a car. Well, I'm going to have a car next semester, so that's going to be exciting. Okay. It's going to make things a lot better. But my friends, like I live in like the east edge of campus. My friends live on like the south edge of campus. So like it's kind of hard to get there, especially on the weekends when the buses aren't really running. So like I totally understand how you felt last year because like at the time I was like, oh, I think he's just like being shy, like, but like no, it's like really, it's sometimes really hard when you're on a big campus and like you don't have anything to do, like, so I understand where you were coming from.
Not to get too off track again, but like last year I would go to all these like connection point events or what that's what they call them here at the school, just like these events. For the first 2 weeks I went to every single one pretty much. And like nothing was happening. Yeah, I probably could have put myself out there more, but I'm like, I'm really uncomfortable right now. Like there's a lot of people here, like they all have their own friends in their own group. And so it was just really awkward. And that's where they tell you to go to make friends. And I'm like, no, this is not working. And so then I was just like kind of alone.
Yeah, no, and especially coming from so far away, like Pittsburgh is like 6 hours away from Michigan. Like honestly, like no tea, no shade, but like Michigan culture is just so much different than like Pittsburgh culture, if that makes sense. Like I might just be generalizing, but like the people here are very different than from Pittsburgh, and like obviously like not in a bad way, just like it was really hard for me to kind of relate with these people more. Like, and like now my 3 like core friends that I'm like living with next year, like one's from California, one's from Chicago, and one's from Michigan. So I have like a healthy mix of like people from all over the place, and I think that's why we all get along so well. So that's kind of cool.
So I don't know, I just think like this idea of like opening up, being vulnerable, I mean, that's, as humans, like that's something we all want, something we all need. Like it's important to talk about our emotions, and like I've found myself becoming so much closer with people. I mean, would they know everything about you or you know everything about them? Like you are, I mean, there's a bond there that like is unlike any other. So I think this song is really cool lyric wise. One lyric I really loved is like, I want to give you your grin. Just kind of like the idea of making someone smile just from being yourself. So cute.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. This one to me, it was just like classic love song, very peaceful.
Yes.
Still kind of boring, but to me, just unrequited love. I didn't have too much on this song because it was a lot of the same lyrics over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a sucker for love songs. Like,
yeah,
I make playlists literally all the time. Shout out to my awesome girlfriend May, I love you. But yeah, I've literally made her probably like 7 playlists over. No, probably more than that. Honestly, like we just swap back and forth. Like, you know, love songs are just like the best.
Yeah, you know. Okay, so this next song is my favorite. If I'm being honest. Okay, the first line is, I was told this is where I would start loving myself, and I literally laughed. I just was like, that's funny. I was like, relatable. Anyway, I thought this was like a cute little sweet song. I really like the sound of like the ah parts. I wrote that down. I don't really remember what they sound like now because I listened this afternoon, but
yeah, I listened to it right before we started recording so that it would be fresh in my head.
Yeah, I probably should have waited to do that, but I was like, I had skipped class, so I was like not doing anything. I was like, let me go ahead and listen. Anyway, so this is just like obviously talking about someone you like and how it makes you feel really good. But at the same time, like it can be bad. So she says, blew me up like a big balloon far too soon. So like making you feel really good. And she talks about putting her best bits forward, like showing off like your best self. But then she also contrasts that by saying, I feel disgusting. To me, like that is, you know, she feels like fake almost because she's putting her best self forward, which I don't think is right. Like, I don't think she's correct in thinking that, but I can totally understand that, like, as yourself, you know, we tend to overthink about what we're doing and be like, oh, like they're going to think I'm fake. But it's like, no, like obviously everyone does that. Everyone puts their best bits forward, as she says.
Totally.
And then, you know, her just kind of questioning throughout the song, like whether this person actually has feelings as well, or if they're just kind of being nice. And then, of course, with her mind just assuming the worst, I bet it's not that at all. And which that lyric to me was referring to her feelings, to the other person's feelings. So I was like, I think that's definitely relatable to everyone. We all have moments where we're like, does this person actually like me? I don't know.
Yes, totally.
They probably don't because, like, why would anyone like me?
There's literally a Facebook event, or not event, like milestone, whatever they call it, like on my Facebook from like freshman year with Abby actually, and it's like confirmed that Abby Doohan does not hate her, and that is still on my Facebook because I thought Abby didn't like me for the longest time, but like look at us now, we're besties.
Wow, I forgot about that. I remember that.
I know. I was looking through my Facebook the other day actually, and I saw that, and I was like, wow, I really did that.
That's so funny.
That's just proof that I was annoying. Like,
okay. So last song, I just realized I was like, oh yeah, we have a whole nother topic to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and hurry it up. I apologize.
Okay.
I will not do this much. I will not be this extra in the future. Hopefully.
Hey,
I just love to talk.
That's
you know.
What this whole. You guys are gonna find out in a second. Is that what this whole episode is about? Is just going for it and like seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. So you finish up, and then we will discuss the rest of our topic.
Okay, so last one's called Burned Out. Perfect title for the last song. So I really like how it like went back and forth from this really dark sound to this light and happy sound, like very nice contrast, but then it ends dark. So I thought that was cool. And this is another song about like being famous and how not really what she expected and how it's really taken a toll on her and how she doesn't really feel good enough for her fans, which I thought that was really interesting. And even this happy part is actually really sad because it's people being like, telling her how much they love her. I forget the exact lyric, but it was like, which, I mean, that goes back to what we were talking about, you know, people coming to their house. Oh, but we love you. So like, you owe us this. It's like, no. Give me my privacy. I don't think that's exactly what she was referring to, but, you know, her still feeling insecure, like, why would all these people love me? She talks about how all these fans are similar to her. She says thousands of eyes just like mine, and kind of hurts her because she feels like, you know, all these people come to her with these sad stories and she wants to help all of them, but obviously she can't because there's so many fans.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, stop going to celebrities to talk about your feelings. That is not that. I'm sorry, that's stupid. Like your celebrity, the celebrity has too much on their plate. They're not your best friend. They can't fix anything for you. Sorry, like you can listen to their music. It can make you emotional. It can help you, but music, like a celebrity telling you, "Oh, I'm sorry," that can't be your therapy. Like that's not. Stop. Just stop. I just feel like so many Instagram comments being like, "Oh, like Dodie," like not specifically Dodie, but I'm just using her example. Like I'm just like, you know, like my mom is dying or whatever. That's a really bad example. But like I'm like my turtle died. Like I'm just going through a really hard time. I don't know. And I'm like, what? It's not their responsibility to help you.
A lot of the time people, I think, forget that celebrities are also people. And like,
exactly.
I mean, at least like putting myself like in like a celebrity's shoes, which is like, I don't know, obviously like there's perks to it. I mean, obviously like you're rich and famous, like, but like, I feel like there is just a lot that isn't like, you don't see a lot, of like the people that like you love like on TV, like Ariana Grande, for example. Like that girl has been through hell and back. Like she, like we all love her, but like we don't see how she's actually feeling. And like to add like another thing where it's like people are being like, Ariana, like save me, like how does that affect her? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's things like that where it's like you don't really think of how that's actually affecting like the person.
Exactly. And like these people are being so like transparent with her, and that like takes a lot out on a person. I have a friend who she's very friendly, and she like, since people see her as very friendly, they kind of see her as like closer than she may think they are. So they like spill all this stuff on her, spill all these problems on her. She gets overwhelmed, and she has to like tell herself to like take a break and tell them, be like, look, like I can't talk to you about that right now because like I'm going through my own stuff. I have really close friends that like are going through their stuff, and I'm trying to help them as well. And obviously if you're a celebrity, I mean, that's like thousands and thousands of people coming to you with their problems. And like, that is a lot to carry. And I don't know, I saw this one thing about like always asking before you spill on someone, being like, hey, like, are you in the like an okay headspace? Obviously some things are a little more drastic than others, I feel like. And, you know, obviously if you're really close, then hopefully that person is willing. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, at least because even if you know they're going to say, yes, of course, you can come to me anytime, that like shows them, that shows the other person that like you still care about them, and they're not just there for you to complain to. Like they're there, like you're genuinely going to them for help.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. And I think that's kind of what she's trying to say.
Yeah, for sure.
And another thing, she goes, I cannot talk about it. So it's kind of hard to open up, especially probably about this. Like, this is her fans, and her kind of calling out her fans almost. She says, don't build hope on something broken. I am not a cartoon. This goes back to, like, just stop idolizing celebrities so much. Like, they are people as well. This is why Hannah Montana did what she did.
Oh my gosh.
But honestly, we can all learn a lesson from Miley.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think Miley's okay. I think about her sometimes.
I think she's good.
I think she's good too. Didn't she marry Liam?
Yeah,
whatever?
She did. Yeah.
Oh, good for her. Yeah.
So Dodie once said, I realized that I was maybe romanticizing mental illness, which I think that could be another topic for another day. I think I put that on our list.
Yeah.
She said, if my fans want to be just like me, that includes every part of me, good and bad. That thought really scared me. I mean, yeah, so she's, you know, people in a sense kind of want to be her, but it's like, do you really want to be her? Because, like, she also goes through a lot of stuff herself. Anyway, all goes back to idolizing celebrities. I promise I'm done, almost. So last lyric is, I might just leave soon. So this is kind of just like becoming too much and talking about how she may like leave YouTube or leave the celebrity life. I don't know. But I don't know. I thought that song was really cool and really important for the fans.
Yeah.
And overall as the album, I thought I really love the content. The songs themselves I prefer her other songs, but I still thought the content was really cool. I obviously enjoyed it because I wrote 3 pages on it. So
clearly, yeah. Well, I enjoyed the album. Like, I thought it was, or EP, whatever. I thought it was really well done. I mean, I think she has a great voice. I think she sounds amazing. But I mean, like I said before, she's not really my type of music per se. But I mean, I still enjoyed it a lot. Like, I think it was a well done album. Like, does she do it on her own? Like, do you know anything about how she like produces?
I honestly don't know. I don't watch her YouTube channel. But I feel like at least probably her first EP, she probably did mostly by herself.
She's done it by herself. Like, that kind of segues us right into our main topic a little bit.
Yes. Did you want to talk about the album or did you just want to move on?
Let's just move on.
Okay, cool.
We're running out of time.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But like I said, that kind of segues us in because really what the whole purpose of today is that we're talking about just going for it and kind of doing your own thing, even though like it's weird and uncomfortable at first. Like, being creative like has to start somewhere, I guess, is basically what the point of it is. And like, I was thinking a lot about this because I feel like in today's age, like with all the technology we have, like, you have the ability to create like at your fingertips, literally at all times.
Yes.
Like, I mean, like when you get if you have an iPhone, like you get like iMovie and GarageBand, like it's already like preloaded onto your phone, which is like so cool because like when I was a kid, like I remember like having like the big like clunky like tape recorder, and like I remember one time I remade the Avatar The Last Airbender intro, but with Legos, and I thought it was literally the coolest thing ever. But like then I didn't realize that like if you like recorded over a tape, like all that stuff would go away, and that was just like so frustrating for me growing up because like I wanted to like make movies and stuff and little things with like my Legos. And like, Mom, if you're listening, like if that tape is still somewhere and like you guys have been hiding it from me this entire time, like we need to talk. But like, cause like it was just so hard back then because it's not like you can just like take your tape and like put it in your computer and edit it. Like, it's just not how it worked back then. But like nowadays, like if I were a kid now, like I'd be making like little movies like all the time, and like low key I do.
Yes.
But like, I don't know. It's just like amazing how like anyone like has the ability to create content nowadays, which is really cool.
Yes, I agree. So, I mean, you say you low-key do now. Do you have, like, secret... Oh, because, like, I do. I have, like, secret things, like, I guess, creative things that I would do. Like, I have, like, a secret blog out there. I don't actually write in it, but, like, at one point I did. Like, I have, like, secret artsy pictures that I take.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to share that.
The real Patrick comes out.
I know. I've never told anyone that. So everyone's getting exclusive content right now. But I mean, really, I actually think I had written a blog post about this, but whatever. I tried to find it. I couldn't find it.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, like I have a secret like Snapchat story where I like kind of like just post like whatever I want, and like sometimes I'm like tempted to make like an actual like vlog, like just for fun, like just because it's like funny.
Right,
but like even on Snapchat, like something as small as that, like can like you literally can do whatever you want with it.
Exactly. I mean, if you just think about like Instagram, some people that we know, like they're not famous, but they get like upwards of 500 likes. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like sorry.
Okay.
No, this is definitely something that has been on my mind a lot. So last year, it's been a year since I started my radio show. And at first, I mean, I did not want to post about it. I didn't want to like post it on social media. I still kind of struggle doing that because like you're being vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there for people to judge you, and people will judge you. And the reason I know is because I judge other people. Like when other people that post this content, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I'll watch it or I'll listen to it or whatever it is. And I'll be like, yeah, it was good, but blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I have to remind myself, Patrick, like they are just starting out. They are not going to be like if they're singing, they're not going to be Ariana Grande sitting here like it's not going to be anything that special, but they can build up to it, and you build up to make it better. And
I mean, like like think about like what we did today. Like we literally spent like almost an hour just talking about like our first segments. Like honestly, we're gonna have to trim that down in the future, but like we wouldn't know that unless we hadn't like done it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And I mean, it's just exactly, practice makes perfect. And I think I just have to remind myself that, but I'm always scared. I'm like, I don't, I've like thought, people have told me that I should make a YouTube channel and I should start a podcast. Here I am making a podcast, but, I'm like, it's scary. Like, I don't want people to see me and be like, oh, here's another person just wanting to be a YouTuber, just wanting to have a podcast. Because, those are things that are really in right now, really trendy. Like, everyone's doing it. But, if you can bring something different to the table, then definitely go for it.
Yeah,
if you're just doing it for fame, okay, that's stupid. You shouldn't be allowed to create content.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Because it's like, no, it shouldn't be about that. Like, you should be able to express yourself creatively through whatever you're doing. But I don't know. It's definitely, it's hard to do, but I feel like once you do it, like people are like, yes, people will judge you, some especially more than others, but ultimately, like, people will be there to support you, and people will honestly, they'll either do that or they just won't even really care. They'll just be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then kind of brush it off. Like, it's not as big of a deal as you make it in your head. I'm telling myself that right now.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even like when you think back to like Shane Dawson, oh my gosh, like his old content, like so bad. Like in today's standards, it's just so like different. Like, and like, of course, like at the time it was like all the rage, but like literally like he's gone from like making like stupid skits where he's like every character to like making like conspiracy theory videos and like just food eating videos, which is like honestly peak for me. Like I loved watching those, but like now he's like making like these like 2 hour long like docu-series that are like literally killing it on YouTube with like millions upon millions of views. And that's just like even he had to start somewhere. It's like like everyone is like where they're at because they started out doing something that might at the time have been like really uncomfortable or like really like just weird for them to do, which is like, but you have to get through that phase like with anything new. Like even like with college, it's like you go there and you're so uncomfortable at first, but then eventually you get into the swing of it and then you're just like living your best life. Like
there are very few people who actually just like make it first try.
Oh yeah, they're like it just doesn't happen.
Those are the ones you see, so that's what your expectation is. It's like no. Yeah.
So,
we're actually talking about that in like entrepreneurship right now with like obviously starting a business. Like, they say you build upon it. The myth is like a new business closes by like 2 years or something. It's like, no, you build upon it, and you're not going to have some like crazy idea that just comes to you most of the time. You're going to have an idea and then you're going to build upon that. And I think it's the same thing with creative content.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like even like, especially with like younger artists today, like I honestly go on about like how many young artists, like when I'm thinking like they produce like all their own music, and it's crazy to me because it's like you have these big artists like who have been like just been produced by other people, and it's like now you have this younger generation of singers and songwriters who are doing their own thing. And like I don't know if Dodie like produces her own music, but like she's she writes her own songs, and like that already is like putting you like a step ahead of like I don't know, like more mainstream artists, I guess. But like King Princess, like my favorite artist, like right now is like she's 20. She just turned 20, and she like writes her own music. She produces it herself, and that's like why I think why they're all coming out with more EPs than albums, because it's just like little like tastes of like what they can do because they don't want to like rush it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, we just have so much at our fingertips, and so it's so easy. But at the same time, I think it can be hard with like motivation, I know that's something like I struggle with. Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I would really like to do this. And I'm like, so when am I going to do that? And I just never do it. Part of the reason why I'm really thankful that you kind of brought this up and like, we're like, hey, Patrick, we should do this. And like, we're actually doing it. Here we are. That makes me really happy. It gives me motivation to be creative and to actually do things. And I mean, even with like, like my radio show being able to like that in a sense, I feel like doing all this work for this podcast gave me motivation to do more work for that, to be able to email celebrities. That's so like, I hate doing that. It's so uncomfortable for me. I hate when they answer, but I also love it when they answer. But I hate it because I'm like, I feel like they're like, who's this weird kid who's like part of some college radio station who probably gets like 10 listens at most per show. But here I am. I'm interviewing a girl with 70,000 subscribers on Twitter.
Like that's gonna bring a lot. Like, especially if she promotes that. Like,
exactly. And so you just gotta put yourself out there, and it's uncomfortable. But that if it's uncomfortable, that means you need to do it. Like, if you are scared to do it, that probably means you should do it, because ultimately it's gonna be better.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just preaching to myself. Trying to motivate myself.
No, and I see like a lot of people who are like so against like kids having phones, and like they're like, why does a baby know how to use YouTube? And I'm just like, dude, like it's opening up the doors for like so much. Like as we all know, like the arts are like right now, like they're not as valued as like an engineering degree, like for example, but like a lot of people think that that's going to start to shift, because it's just like, it's a lot. There's so many like engineers and like, STEM majors, which like nothing wrong with like STEM majors. Like we need you people, but like, there's going to be a lot more upswing with like creative kind of things, just because of like the generation growing up, because like they've had technology, like they know what art is, like, it's like all that kind of like, it's very interesting to look at the psychology between like different generations of people and like how they feel about like technology and all that kind of stuff. And like,
I mean, Keep going.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say that, like, you remember? This is like kind of weird, but like, do you remember Coney 2012?
Oh wow, yes, yeah, I remember that. Wow.
First of all, like blackout, that. Like everyone pushed that out of their brain. But he talks about it.
I remember like freaking out. I watched that whole video and I was like, that's awful. And then it turned out to be like fake or whatever.
Yeah, and then the poor guy went crazy. I felt so bad for him. But no, but in the whole first like 5 minutes of that video, it talks about his son and how he loves to make movies like on his like dad's phone, and like how he had this app, and like, you remember the app where it was like you could shoot the missile and like do all these like special effects and like
yes I had I love it.
With that, and meanwhile this kid's like 5 or 6, and it's just like that's like where we're headed towards, where like kids are gonna be able to like make their own things. And like even like Life with Mac, like she's 12, and how many subscribers does she have, like just by making ASMR? Like, it's crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, you do have to be careful with your kids. Like, make sure your kids are like watching educational things, or like, that they're not just like, I've seen some kids and they literally just watch like adults open up toys, and I'm like, okay, I don't know, very weird.
Channels are my favorite. They're so funny.
They freak me out. They really annoy me.
Like,
I just like
child expectation, but like it's fine.
Yeah,
they're making money.
But another thing with like the STEM majors that you were talking about, even those people are finding a creative outlet. Obviously they're like super smart doing all this crazy sciencey stuff, but at the same time, like that gives them a way to tell other people about it, whether it be through a video, through podcasts, through whatever. And so, we're just seeing that. I mean, like I said, everyone's making a YouTube channel now. Everyone's making a podcast now. It's just the thing to do, and to kind of get your name out there.
No, and like there's the guy on YouTube, like he went viral. I forget his name. I've been watching him like all week though, but he's like super, super smart with like engineering and like code and all that. And he was the guy who like electrocuted himself to dab. Did you see that video when it came out?
I did not.
I'll send it to you. It's crazy. But basically, he made this whole thing. Where he like connected like little circuit like things to like his whole body, and like ran electricity through it, like, but only through the muscles, so that like he was forced to dab, and like he did it. Like, it's honestly crazy. Like, imagine having like that big of a brain and like that's what you're doing with it. But like he did it. Like now he has like millions of like subscribers, I'm sure. So little things like that. It's the little things that matter, like making yourself through electricity.
Yeah, and literally, I mean, it could be literally anything. People will watch anything. People listen to anything. And so it's like everyone has something that they can share. And so if you want to share that, someone out there will watch, whether it's just like your family. I mean, that's probably who's going to be listening to this.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be mostly your friends and family. But as you expand on that, if people think it's good, which someone out there they will share it. It will eventually get around. And that doesn't mean you're going to be some huge successful TV, movie, YouTube star or whatever. But that doesn't mean you can't find joy in it and have other people enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, like doing anything with like a creative outlet is just like it's good for you, and like regardless if people listen, like it's very therapeutic. Like that's saying, like, why do you think people like drawing and painting and like writing and all that kind of stuff? It's just like it's the same thing, just on like a, you know, we're using the resources that we have nowadays, which is like, you know, you have Skype, you have a microphone, let's make a podcast. Like that's what it's come down
to. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's that on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we talked about the album more than that. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, like we said before,
we'll learn. Yes.
And we're gonna change and we're gonna grow with it, and that's how it's gonna be. And like next week is my turn to pick music, and I'm really excited.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Right, anything else?
Anything else? Oh, I'm good. Well, thank you to everyone who listened. We hope you enjoyed. We talked about a lot of music, but we also talked about a lot of
other... Thank you for listening to me not rant, but just like talk way too much about Dodie.
Overanalyze,
yes. I do that a lot. I just love to talk. I realized with my radio show, so I went back down to 1 hour. I had 2 hours last semester, and I didn't get to play 3 of my songs I put on my playlist, and it was only... Like, I usually try and do, like, 50 to, like, 55 minutes at most. And I put, mine only had 53 minutes. And the last song was 7 minutes long. So I wasn't even going to play it for that long. But I literally, like, I played up till almost, I think I had 2 minutes left. And because there's someone who comes in after me, so I can't wait until after. And I literally had to cut off 3 of my songs. Yeah. One of those songs being 7 minutes long. And I'm like, I need to learn how to talk for only an hour again.
Well, now it's okay because you can just save it for this show, like whatever you want to talk about. Like
exactly, yes. We'll see. I'm like talking about the song, and I'm like, literally, I played Avril Lavigne. I like started talking about the conspiracy theory about like how she might be dead. All this stuff.
You did not.
Yeah, and so I was like, I literally said, I was like, guys, that's dumb. Like, don't say that about her. I was like, so let's just put that to rest. Unlike Avril Lavigne. You can listen to that on my YouTube channel, On The Noise with DJ Patty G. Yes. I will be posting that this show here too, probably.
Awesome.
But we also have our own YouTube channel. It's literally called Just WACK with Patrick and Mia.
Yep. And we will be posting this here. We'll drop the links in Facebook and Instagram and all the things.
Yes.
And I can't wait. I had a great time doing this, and I can't wait for next week, honestly.
It's so much fun. Follow us on Instagram, pglover2447.
Yeah, follow me at SonicMia21. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next week.